Hey everybody, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and my voice has returned slightly. Well, at least I don't have to talk like a southerner for some reason. Um, Today we have Wild Portugal. It's a series of wild specials from the National Geographic channel. It runs about 44 minutes long. It's from 2020, and it's gorgeous. Like all these things, they're shot beautifully, usually from a distance using drones or things like that. Um, they swoop in over different lands. In this case, obviously Portugal, which is sort of like the you don't talk about Portugal as much. It's always Spain or Italy or Germany or France or Greece. It's all European, everywhere between the North Sea and the Mediterranean. People kind of ignore Portugal. I mean, unless you live in that area and you don't ignore it. But in this case, it's kind of not as common a destination as most. But it's stunningly gorgeous. It is the westernmost portion of Europe, um, with its rocky shores along the Atlantic, and it's got a diverse, different types of. My voice and my brain are still not working perfectly. Um, Diverse, different cultures and topography. That's a word. Um, but we start out looking at storks, which you're just like, hey, a stork. They have long legs and a beak, and they bring babies to people. No, they're pretty badass. They're gorgeous, to be sure, and a lot of these birds fight for just the smallest patch of land on these blades of rocks that jut out into the ocean, and it's where they make their nests. It's where they breed. It's where they raise their young. At the very end, they come full circle around after visiting all parts of Portugal. They come back to the very end, and we see the storks now have children, and the one is feeding the little fuzzy ones a snake. While they have prodigious beaks, they're not really good at cutting their food. So when you get a snake, it tends to be that only one of the birds gets the snake. Oh well, because you can't really cut them up really easily because they're still squirming, and whoever gets it jammed down their craw first gets dinner, and then gets sleepy, and the other one goes hungry. So that's how nature works in Portugal. But beyond that, there's wild stallions, wolves, and chameleons, and all sorts of bugs and slugs, and everything in between. There's so much diverse cultures and creatures and everything else, and like I said, it's shot beautifully. It's shot um, just in some slow motion moments and some you get the feeling that they don't have any idea that there's camera people nearby. Um, but it's something just like this entire series of Wild. It's we've seen a few of these so far, and it's always something astonishing to look at when you're trapped inside an apartment for the past year. It's kind of a release to be able to just explore these foreign, gorgeous, not four walls, ceiling, and a floor kind of lands. In this case, they cover everything from the mountains to the plains to under the water, and it's these are places that technically humans shouldn't be going, shouldn't be messing with. Um, it's at least they're doing it in a sense of just exploring it and helping to understand what these creatures are like, and not killing them, which is nice. It's different. Um, so yeah, it's this is the kind of thing that if I had the wall space and the area, man, I would just project on a wall in 4K or 8K and whatever I can get, and just either even with or without the sound, just let the color and the beauty of all of that stuff just wash over the room, which would be just astounding to see. I think if I had a place like that, I do not. But hey, something to dream about. Anyway, yeah. So that's really all I can tell you about that. It's obviously educational. It's the kind of thing that parents, if you're looking to your homeschooling, um, give this series a shot. It, there's always some astounding, beautiful things, some scary things, because there's always a predator. No matter how peaceful a certain gigantic field full of flowers and pretty birds and insects are, there's always a predator climbing in the trees, hiding in the bushes. So you learn a little bit about how nature works, but at the same time, there's endless beauty to be found. So, yeah, Wild Portugal, one of many, and I'm sure we'll be seeing all sorts of these things in the months and years to come. So, let's pick tomorrow's episode.
205.
Okay, 205. 205. Ah. All right, we're getting another movie. This is a pseudo classic, sort of. I don't know if I'd call it a Disney classic, but it's got a kind of a cult following, I think. Um, is it Brendan Fraser? I think it's Brendan Fraser. I think. Either way, it's not Jerry O'Connell. I don't know why I get those confused. I think it's Brendan Fraser, and he's naked and oiled up for most of the time in George of the Jungle. So we're getting some big goofy comedy coming up here with George of the Jungle on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.